Hey, let's go to Micah in North Carolina, who has been hanging on. Hey, Micah, you're on with Joe Walsh.
Hey, thank you, Joe, so much. I'm the first time caller. I listen a lot.
Oh, thank
I
you.
agree with I appreciate what you're doing. I agree with a good 85% of what you say. So
I'll
that's a good
take
odds.
that. Yeah, I'll take that, Micah. That's not
Yeah.
bad. Thank you.
Thank you. I really appreciate your rational and reasoned and repetitive message that people who are kind of entranced by Trump right now need to hear. They need to hear it
Yeah.
from someone that is consistent, and you're very consistent. So I appreciate that.
Cool. Thanks. What's on your mind today, my dear?
Do you want to answer my abortion question, or do you want to
Tell me.
pontificate about the
Oh,
Congress?
no rules here. Both. Tell me what your
All right.
abortion question is. Let's start there.
All right. Okay. So I've heard you say that you've changed your position on abortion over time from being a laissez-faire kind of person to being pro-life.
Yes.
And while I understand that people do change their positions, I'd like to know if
And
you're
let me
considering.
and let me, Mika, let me just clarify because this isn't an issue that has been talked about a lot on the show. So let me just clarify for everybody who's listening right now. When I was a young man, I tend to be very libertarian. When I was a young man, I'm Catholic as well. When I was a young man, I naturally gravitated toward a pro-choice position when it came to abortion because my instant reaction was I never ever wanted government involved in that. Um, I'll tell you what, Mika, after a number of years of research and thought and really diving into the issue and prayer and talking to a lot of people, I became pro-life a number of years ago. And I'm pro-life without exception, and I've never looked back.
Mhm.
And Mika, the main
Okay.
reason is I'm still libertarian. That is a life. It hit me. I realized that is a life from the moment of conception, and government has a duty to protect that life. Go ahead.
So you would not only hold a pro-life position, but you would also try to enforce pro-life laws and try to get pro-life laws passed. That's what you're saying.
I've always taken that
Okay.
position. Generally, yes.
That being said, okay. So that being said, this is not an attack on you, but I'd like you to think about this. What kind of stipend should a woman get for unconditionally supporting every fetus every time
Explain
and
that to
and
me. I
raising
don't
that and
understand.
raising that child to adulthood every time? So if a woman is in an economic situation where she's already got 3 or 4 kids,
And
she gets
she's
pregnant,
already pregnant, and she gets pregnant.
right? And she's already in poverty. She can't support that child, and she makes a decision based on that. Um, if she's not able to make that decision and she's trapped to support yet another child, do you support the option of her having some kind of stipend or relief to alleviate the burden of raising a new child?
I would say,
And if
Mika,
so, yeah, why? And if not, why not?
well, at first blush, and that's an interesting thought experiment. At first blush, this woman who say already has 3 kids and is living in poverty below the poverty threshold, who is, I'm assuming, then already eligible for and receiving aid, pregnant with a fourth child, that pregnant with a fourth child should be treated the same as her 3 alive children, and she should get the same requisite aid that she's already eligible for. Does that make any sense?
Well, there's no longer long-term welfare. That's all been cut. That was cut during the Reagan administration. Aggressively cut those programs, and now you have to
Well,
show,
yeah,
and
and Mika, this is great stuff. But now you're entering kind of another area which fascinates me as well. I do believe in limited government, and I do believe that government should help those who can't help themselves. We live in a day and age now where government is helping a hell of a lot more people than the people who can't take care of themselves. Mika, in my dream world, the government takes care of people like your hypothetical mom. We need to get back to that.
That's good, because that's the only way that a pro-life stance is going to be supportable in this economy.
Agreed. But to get there, to get back to a position where people like that get help, we as a country, Mika, got to have a real big boy, big girl decision and cut all this other government that is, I mean, we're forget about the pandemic.
Absolutely.
We were 24 trillion in debt before the pandemic. And because government's so big and doing so much, we're not focusing the dollars on the people who need it, like your mom. So
let's talk about my second question, which is feeding the giant gaping maw that is the military-industrial complex. What do you...
Yeah. No, I was going to say, Mika, when I was in Congress, I generally had a record of cutting government wherever I could cut it, including defense.
That's great, because here's what I really think is going on with people like Mitch McConnell. Okay, you've got a guy who's pushing 80 years old. I don't know why he's still in Congress. I don't know why he won't take a day outside and enjoy life before he dies.
I agree.
The guy was born to be in stuffy rooms, and I guess that's what he's doing with his life. However, what is he going to get out of the social unrest that he is fomenting with his silence, and secondly, blocking any relief bills that come his way? Okay, what is his goal?
I'll tell you what his game is. Mika, I know Mitch McConnell. He's the most ruthless politician I've ever met in my life. He's the kind of politician who would love for there to be rioting and looting on our streets because he could then blame Democrats. That's exactly who Mitch McConnell is.
Is it not also, do you not also think that he's going to turn on more funds to the military-industrial complex and then actually set those people on us, the citizens?
You know, maybe that's part of his equation. I know Mitch McConnell cares about two things more than anything else: Republicans controlling the Senate and conservative judges. Those are the two things Mitch McConnell cares about, even more than defense spending. Hey, Mika, great call. Do me a favor. Call again, will you? Will you promise me?
Don't worry, I will.
You're the best. Thank you, Mika. Appreciate the call. By the way, you know what was cool about that phone call, Mika? We weren't talking about Trump. We were talking about issues. How cool. Hey, Joe Walsh, don't go anywhere.